Assalamu alaikum. This is Rayan Arab recording for the Daily Reminder. I want you to get excited because I have two very impressive messages I want to share with you today. Number one, Allah Azza wa Jal accepts you. No matter what you do, He accepts you and He will never reject you as long as you raise your hands and you ask for His forgiveness. That's the first message, and we're going to talk more about it. Number two is that you were born crying, you were born sad, and the people around you, they were laughing, they were like, oh, look at this pretty baby, look at this cute baby. If there is a message I'm going to share with you regarding this, alright? So let's go back to number one. Number one, the people reject you and Allah accepts you. The people reject you. The people will reject you. Your friends, your family, everybody. They will reject you if you make mistakes. They won't like you. They'll get mad at you for a moment. And then they may forgive you, and if they don't have any good hearts, they probably won't forgive you. So Allah Azza wa Jal accepts you no matter what. No matter what you do in life, He will accept you as long as you raise your hands and you ask Him to forgive you. If you don't do that, then He won't accept you. Well, He may and He may not, but you have to ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive you. Let me give you this example, an image I want to draw in your minds. Zidane in 2006 World Cup. Zidane in 2006 World Cup, as he was playing football, a person came to him and he started, cursing at his mom and whatever. So Zidane got very angry and he got very furious, so he headbutted this person and he knocked him on the floor. The person fell on the floor, the referee came and he gave Zidane a red card. You're out, we don't want you to play with us anymore. Now, these are humans' rules. You break them, you're out. We don't want you. You're kicked off the team. You're kicked out of the match. We don't want you. But Allah's rules, you break them, He still wants you. He gives you the green light. The doors are open. He still wants you to enter.
قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.
قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا. Say, O my slaves who have transgressed against themselves with evil actions, despair not of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins. You make a mistake with your wife when you're like 30 years old. She wants you to buy a dress and you don't want to buy that dress because you're stingy. You reach 60 years old and your wife still mentions that mistake to you. Remember that dress that you never bought me? Remember that? Huh? Do you remember that? You make a mistake with Allah Azza wa Jal when you're like 15 years old, you just reach puberty, and you continuously make this mistake until you reach 70 years old, and then you raise your hands and you ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive you. Oh Allah, forgive me. I made all these mistakes. Please forgive me. Then Allah Azza wa Jal replies, غَفَرْتُ لَكَ عَلَى مَا كَانَ فِيكَ وَلَا أُبَالِي. I forgave all of your sins and I don't care. He doesn't care. Why? Because you raised your hands and you asked Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive you with a sincere heart, with a clean heart. You meant it. And if you make this mistake again, He will still forgive you again if you raise your hands and you ask Him to forgive you. You don't necessarily have to raise your hands. You can make sujood or you can do it your own way. But as long as your heart has that intention where you ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive you, that good clean intention, that pureness in your heart, then Allah Azza wa Jal will forgive you in a moment, in an instant, in the blink of an eye. That's the first message. The second message is that you were born crying. You were born sad. You weren't really happy when you were born. Remember that? You probably don't remember that. And the people around you, they were laughing. They were happy. They were, look at this little baby. He's so cute. Dada goo goo. If you do good and continue to do good, you will die smiling or laughing or in a state of happiness. Well, the people around you will be sad. They will be crying. It will be the opposite. But if you do good and continue to do good, if you keep asking Allah to forgive you after those mistakes, you raise your hands and you say, oh Allah, forgive me. I made that mistake again. Oh Allah, forgive me. I made that mistake again. Do you know Umar bin Abdul Aziz? Umar bin Abdul Aziz, 20 days before he died, he was having dinner at not a friend's house, an enemy's house, but he thought that he was his friend. So as he was having dinner, he looked at his friend and he said, he didn't say anything. He looked at his friend looked at him and he said, what's wrong with you? Did you just eat black magic or something? And he told his friend, no, this is not black magic, this is poison. Go bring the person who cooked this food. So his friend went and he brought the person who cooked the food, a 16 or 17-year-old. And this little kid came to Umar bin Abdul Aziz. Umar asked him, what made you do this? Why did you put poison in my food? The kid said, I was given 1,000 dirhams. I was given 1,000 dirhams. Umar said, give me this 1,000 dirhams. He took the 1,000 dirhams, he gave it to his friend. He said, put this in the bank for the Muslims. Let it take care of the Muslims. Let it benefit them. You, the little kid, you better run. You better get out of here. Don't let anybody see you. Because if they see you, they will kill you because you killed me. So Umar bin Abdul Aziz let this person, this little kid who killed him, Umar knows that he's dying. He just ate poison. He knows that he's leaving this dunya now. He let this little kid, the killer, leave so that nobody kills him. Look at this beautiful heart, this nice warm heart. He let his killer go away. So 20 days passed and Umar bin Abdul Aziz was suffering pains and weakness and he was dying. And as he was lying on his bed, he told his family and friends to sit him up because he wants to see something. And they set him up. And when they set him up, he looked up. When he looked up, they asked him, what are you looking at? What do you see? He said, Wallahi, I see the most beautiful faces right now. And these faces are not jinn, and these faces are not humans. And then he smiled. He saw the faces of the angels, and he smiled. And then he said, he recited this verse from the glorious Quran.
الدار الآخرة نجعلها للذين لا يريدون علوا في الأرض ولا فسادا والعاقبة للمتقين.
تلك الدار الآخرة نجعلها للذين لا يريدون علوا في الأرض ولا فسادا والعاقبة للمتقين. The home of the hereafter, we make it for those people who don't want transgression and they don't want corruption in this dunya. And the final home is for the pious people, those people who are very pure and clean. So you see the whole message and the whole point that I mentioned this story is that Umar bin Abdul Aziz died with a smile on his face. He died happy. Why? Because he used to continuously ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive him. Every time he would make a mistake, he wasn't perfect. He was a very good man, a very sincere man, but he wasn't perfect. He still made the mistakes. And yet, he would always ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive him for the mistakes, and Allah Azza wa Jal would forgive him. And Allah Azza wa Jal will forgive you just as He forgave Umar bin Abdul Aziz and just as He forgave the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and all the other prophets and messengers and sahabis and followers and the righteous people until the day of resurrection. So continue to raise your hand and ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive you for all your previous sins. Do it right now. Right now, after this video ends, raise your hands and say, Oh Allah, forgive me for all my previous sins. Do it with sincerity in your heart. Mean it. Let it be from your heart. Ask Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive you day and night. When you wake up, say Astaghfirullah. When you sleep, say Astaghfirullah. When you go to work, say Astaghfirullah. When you leave work, say Astaghfirullah. Day and night, let it be on your tongue. Astaghfirullah. Oh Allah, I seek your forgiveness. I seek your forgiveness. Because Allah Azza wa Jal, He will accept you no matter what, as long as you seek His forgiveness. جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.